Is there any rhythm in silence?
Of course. Silence, that's the spirit, you know. The Native Americans, again, you know, it's, yeah, the best prayer is in silence. You know, silence. That's everywhere in every tradition. It's like first, be silent. I remember when I was into jazz, I had this Anthony Braxton album, and there is a song, a friend of mine, a very good pianist, what's his name, Jean-Michel Albertucci, maybe here, he's still playing piano. We did a trio, a duo also at the time. I was into jazz and improvisation, but he, he told me, listen to this song. At the end, there are like 5 seconds silence. What? You know? And so I went listening to the song, and indeed, at the end of the song, because of everything the musician has created before, it finishes, but then after, there's like 4 or 5 seconds silence, and you hear it. You know, there is, you will say, there is 5 seconds silence at the end of this song. And I remember at the time I was like really blown away, like it's possible, you can have music in, you know, silence in music, and it works and you hear it. It's also the breaks in between ideas in a song. Of course, I try to bring silence in between two parts. There are many examples in the CD. You've noticed, you know, going from one part into the other, there's probably stop, and then it's only the, like the reverberation will carry on, and the previous sound that just dies and develops into the next. Because in music, yeah, it's difficult to put silence.
Yeah, of course.
But it's the origin of music, you know. You have to go back to the contrary. Before music, before sound, is no sound. What is no sound is silence. So that's where the first music is. And then you need somebody like me, you know, an artist that hears and puts it into sounds. This song, it's à la Clairefontaine, you know. This is a French song. Yeah, by the way, it's these two pieces, Outclanclaxis and À la Clairefontaine, I just went on recording them, improvising. I did 15 minutes of each, you know, and then I thought, oh shit, I played so long. I just went improvising and developed until I felt like it was finished. And so this song I cut in 3 parts because of the, say, the dramaturgy in the CD, to bring some breathing voice in the whole concept. But I haven't done it yet, but I put the complete version on a separate CD to download on my Bandcamp site, because I find there it's really interesting from the music's point of view, because I try to improvise as I am. I mean, I'm a French musician improvising on a mode, a special scale, and that's it. And I stay in the mode, and that's being modal, and not bringing any cliche from any style of whatever baroque or jazz or whatever other music, you know, but just being yourself and playing the thing. Funny enough, in this part, because of the song, it's, you know, it's very basic. You have like 5 notes. Yeah, there's a 6 note. I did the 7th. You know, in modern music, you have you have all this in Indian tradition and music books. You know, you can study this. Then you have to adapt it to whatever Western mode you're using. But you have the same in plateau. You know, you have uh, every step in a mode has a special function in the music. You know, it's like in Utqueantlaxis, it moves between the third, the minor third, and the second, the major second, actually. And it does an interesting thing. It goes to this minor third, which says, "Please come down to me," sort of, you know, and then, "But I'm so humble," is the second. And it has really, when you play it, you hear it, and then you try. I mean, that's what I do. Then I try to play more with this and play with this emotion of being humble. On this one, it's different. It's like à la Clairefontaine. Okay, in the verses of the song, it's about lost love, but it's also, I mean, the basic song is like, when I went to this source of water, I felt so good, and the water looked so clear, and I clear that I wanted to bathe in it. You know? That's the idea. And what is this fontaine? You know, what is this water? Yeah, that's the spirit. And you just dive in it and you play. And it just happened. I found myself like having this sort of bourrée thing, you know. But okay, I let it happen. Okay, this is maybe the only style effect I put into it. It's not much an accident. It's in the music already.
You improvised, right?
Yes, yes. I improvise and yeah, that's music. I've always improvised. You know, I started with improvising. My mother bought this piano. She took lesson. My brother took lesson. My sister took lesson, and they were fighting this note. And then I threw the piano. I had already started guitar and piano. I went and played.
You,
And at once I improvised and then started composing things. You know, composing was I liked what I was improvising and I tried to repeat it. And that was my first composition. And then I went on and on. And since then I've always been doing the same. I mean, I let a note sound and I hear the rest, and I develop it and I put it more. And then you have you learn your say science. You know, you learn how to develop an idea, and so that it won't be boring. You know, not like pop music where you have one idea, 4 seconds, stop. Not more, because people can't concentrate anymore. You know. So no, I'm developing things. That's improvising.
actually, your music gives me many picture, visualize the melody I'm listening.
That's also, again, that's the spirit. The spirit makes you live things in the moment where you do things. And whatever your vocation, because it's all about vocation, you know, you're meant to do something in this world. And this is what you should do, and not any kind of job. Okay, you have to do some job, other job, because it's the world, it's the system as it is. But then you have a vocation, everybody has a vocation, and this vocation he should practice and do all the time, or as much as possible, because that's the reason he's in this world, and you should do what you're here for. So if you're a musician, then you do music the best you can. If you're a photographer, then you put it as much as you can into it, whatever work you do. Everybody is an artist, you know. An artist is somebody who does the thing properly for the people to use. Doing the things properly is never lose this connection. An architect, he will build a house.
Yeah, but the
Depending on various things, like, you know, I like this from the Japanese culture, an architect, and the Chinese as well, has to be a year long on the place where he's going to build the house. Before he builds the house, you know? Aha, because then you can see where does the sun come out, how it goes over the seasons, and so he will build his house in depending on the sun and other things. And he will have lived a year long on the place, so he will know what the place has to offer.
How about to make a living as a musician?
Yeah. And there is a complete misconception of the work of a musician. You know, it's the people have a blurred understanding of what it really is. You know, it's like you need a bank. A bank will be a record company. It will invest money on you, and it will want its money back. So I mean, I have like I can say his name, Rudiger. You know, he's the percussionist playing on some of my songs. He's playing with a very famous band at the moment. It's Phone. They're doing like pagan folk, they call it. Very good music. I mean, I do like it, but it's not music I would listen every day. But now they got a golden record, you know, and suddenly, after 10 years of working like mad and really eating like for nothing, they made it sort of because of a hard work, you know. And now he comes, yeah, I'm rich, ha ha ha. I'm like more in debt than before because this system is so shit. You know, you earn if you earn too much money. If you're not one of these billionaires on top, you know, and then you can avoid any tax. You know, that's if you're under, you know, and that's everybody the same. Whatever the level you are with your finance, you have to pay tax, and the more you earn, the more tax you have to pay. I decided long ago I pay as little tax as I can. Means I earn as much as I need. The problem is it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So most of the time I have too little, so I'm in debt. Yes, of course. That's the system. So I have to find a way of selling my music myself because no bank is going to invest on my music. You know, I've tried 30 years long to interest a label, no interest because they are not interested in the music. They're interested in something that sells or can be sellable. But before it is sellable for them, you have to already sell them. So it means I could possibly get the attention of some label, but then I should already be selling. You know, it's like a catch-22. You
maybe
got to get out. So no, I'm not rich. You know, to go back to your question, I live from the music I sell. And nowadays, it's the problem. It's also in the Apocalypse. It's in the Puranas. You know, the Indians, they have this caste system. It's wrongly understood nowadays because it's not about your social position, it's about your vocation, it's about your nature. That's what is called, that's what is meant by caste. It's varna, it's the color, it's your nature. You're meant to be a leader, you're meant to be a warrior, you're meant to be a musician, you're meant to be a shoemaker, whatever you're meant to be, this you should do and do as good as possible. Okay, then you're going to be put into a caste system. So this has never been hereditary. This is the mistake nowadays in India. You know, you were born in a Brahmin family, then you're a Brahmin. No way, you're a Brahmin only if you have the vocation. But okay, let's forget this. That's the thing is still there. So now, before you had like an artist doing his art and finding a mécène who would give him money so that he can practice his art. You still have this, but very limited. So nowadays, everybody is concerned. It's concerned everybody. You have to be a Brahmin, so you have to concern yourself with spiritual things. You have to be a Kshatriya because you have to fight for your thing. You have to be Vaisha because you have to sell your thing, and you have to be a Shudra because you have to construct the thing and put the material. And that's the basic four castes of the origin. But that's we all have. I have to be musician, composer, instrumentalist, producer, recorder, sound engineer, then marketing expert, then graphic designer, then office worker, like writing things, declaring things for tax and copyright society, and all this I have to do myself. And then apart from that, I still have to cook for my daughter when she comes back from school. I have to earn enough money to pay this house. I mean, not pay the house, but pay the rent because I'm renting. I don't own this house. I'm lucky, but I have to pay the rent. I have to pay the heating in Germany. You have very often -20. It costs money, so I'm constantly juggling between all these positions. But I don't complain. This is what everybody has to do. But you have to know it. You have to know that, okay, you have to do it.
But you have many choices in Germany.
It's all a question of connection. To make connection, you have to live in a certain group of people, and because I have all these different activities, and in the past, I mean, most of the time, I remember in England, but also when we toured in France, this singer, he was in a big record company, so I met all these people, I know these people, I know the kind of people they are, but I don't want to live with these people. It's very difficult to meet these people, then to get friends with them, and then to get acquainted with them, and to work with them. And that's the problem with connection. You need to be in a milieu and develop from there. The other side is I'm much too open-minded for the overall television thing. I mean, I can write music, I did it a few times. I'd love to do more. The problem is, how do you get in contact with them? It doesn't happen like this because people don't listen, they don't have time, they have to work. Like the film producer, he has to see that the millions is grabbed from everywhere, come back so that he can survive and pay 100 people for the production of the film. So he has to have some kind of film that sells. And the problem is to sell millions, you have to appeal to millions. And the problem is the millions, most of the time, they are stupid.
But that is my point.
Stupid thing.
But your music is not commercial type.
I can tell you what I'm thinking about this, I'd love to do all these things. I can. That's not the question, It's the thing is, I must, now, because of the system, I must make my name known and have people who like my music sharing it everywhere so that my name goes around and people know what I am doing. And because there are also artists in the cinema field, there are people doing really good things. I mean, like Mel Gibson, Mel Gibson does really beautiful cinema.
Yeah, sure.
And with an interesting point, he's not doing shit like most of the French production, I must say, or whatever, there's, it's also, I thought in Germany, being in Munich, I would get into this business. I tried, but I did this 2 films for television, was good, it was good money. I still have a very good contact with a film, director. He still buys my music. Hi, Peter. But and the problem is he doesn't get any budget for a film, an interesting film. So he does whatever else he can do, documentary films, whatever, And but I have to carry on doing my own thing, making as many things as possible, because at some point there's gonna come whoever. I said Mel Gibson, could be any other film director who will have ears and understanding and will think, oh, that's what I want.
Of course, it is a matter of choice.
There are some examples of really good television series made by intelligent people. Okay, it's in the past, but it is possible, you know.
Of course.
And using very good music, very good artists all together, and they made it, you know. And that's the people I'm trying to find. But to find these people, I have to be as good as I can in the level I am in, and not escape and try another thing. I mean, I did over the years, every time and time again, I tried to do associations with other people, other musicians or theater, and you work your ass out, and then suddenly these people drop you because they have something else. They want to do something with other people or whatever. Yeah. As I said, I'm not as rich as I should be. Like I have this dream. I mean, I'd like to have the par-dessus, the small viol. Is supposed to build me a baritone, the electric baritone de la gamba. I have to pay 6,000 euros for it. It's not expensive actually, but it is 6,000. So I have a baritone. Look at what a baritone viol is. The idea is an electric baritone viol. So with what should I pay this? You know? And the thing is, I mean, one CD costs 12 euros. This one I'm going to sell 14. It's not the work, you know. The problem is, that's what I saw with my daughter yesterday. She was listening to music on her computer. I said, what do you use for streaming platforms? She said, yeah, Spotify. Ah, Spotify. I said, yeah, it's my death. And she laughed. I said, yes, you know, you listen to music, you don't pay, it's free. Yes, but think of the artists, you know, what do they live from? Not from Spotify. Spotify doesn't give you any money, you know. They collect the money wherever they can and keep it for themselves and give a few piece of leftover to some company that will possibly give another little bit to the artist. So with streaming, unless you already sell millions, you don't get any money. So all the artists, you know, they're just there, yes, it is my music. And the frame of mind nowadays is really shit because they think, music is free. It's true, it's free, it's all available on the internet. So why should I pay? Yeah, well, if you don't pay for it, you're going to have always more shit music because people want to sell, and to sell you have to do shit.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So it's the choice you have to do. So I don't want to do shit music. I want to do proper music. I want to live for it.
But you teach also, right?
Yeah, I'm teaching music. I have like mostly children, very few adults. I have like teenagers. But those I have, they stay over the years, and I can see what my effect is on them. I mean, they get much better than in any school, because I know better than most of the schools do. And then after they can, I mean, I have like a guitar player, she's really good. If she carries on, she's going to be really good guitar player. So yeah, I don't have enough. Also, I don't want to spend my time teaching, but I find it's a duty as a musician. You have to teach what you know to others.
Yeah, in the school they have a deaf teachers, but then they learn from an artist, a composer. It's completely different.
It shouldn't be an idol, because the whole system is based on people idolizing others. You should have people with knowledge and learn from them, and find other people with other knowledge and learn from them, and that's the way it should go. Not selling shit. It is the Would Queant likes is the epilogue. It is the broken consort version. This part. because I used the flageolet tones of the violin. I love this. Now, when I listen to my music, I just say sitting home.
No, it's
I don't
just,
do anything else.
yeah, as I told you, your music is,
Yeah, it's not background music.
no,
It draws too much our attention. But that's good, that's what you should expect from music, isn't it?